Hello my friends, hello Photoshop lovers, welcome to another exciting episode of our Photoshop design series. In this video, I'll be showing you how to design this football poster inside of Photoshop. Yes, and I'll also be giving out the PSD files to 5 persons that will get the code in this video, right? So make sure you don't skip any part and make sure you stay focused because I'll be dropping the code in the course of this video. Right, without having to say much, let's jump right into it. So click on file and I'll click on new. Right, so I'm just going to 4x5 and I'm just going to spot poster. Right, so everything else stays the same. What I mean everything else stays the same, everything you're seeing on the screen here stays the same, like resolution, RGB and transparent, everything else stays the same, right? So I'm just going to go on and click on create like this. So I have this opened up here. The first thing I'm going to make sure you do is click on the foreground color and make sure this is the color code for your foreground color, this one here, so you can copy this. All right, click OK. And let's go over to the background color. Right, so for the background color, double click on this once again and make sure this is the color code, right? So you can copy that also. So let's get right into this. So click on adjustment layer, solid color, and I'm going to use the background color. So I'm going to use eyedropper tools to select this, and this is the color code in case you missed it. So click OK like this. So basically, you know how we do this. So we're building from the foundation. So the first thing we need to do is, with our text selected, I'm just going to type out what I want to type out. So making a duplicate copy of this athlete. So I'm just going to press Ctrl J and double click here, and this will be the Tico. So I just broke it down. Right, so on this one, select it, Ctrl T to activate the free transform and make it bigger. Right, make sure you don't have too much space in between the two of them. Right, so select the two of them, Ctrl T, this time make both of them big like this. Increase from the edges like this. Make sure it's in the middle like this. Can still make it bigger. You have room to expand like this. All right. So you have it here. The next thing you want to do is make a duplicate copy of this. Right, this one here. So you can drag it up like this. Then you can highlight it like this and write the full name, which is Atletico Madrid. Right, so you want to make this smaller. You can do that under your property, and I'm just going to position this well, or still make this smaller like this. See, make this smaller like this and change the font color to white like this. Another thing I'd want to do again is click on this VA and make it 400. Press, yeah, so yeah, make it 400 like this. You can drag this all the way up so it's the first thing there. Just move it up manually. or you can use the shortcut, which is Control spacebar, Control bracket and Enter. So move this upward like this, stays here. Then you can select this one, Control J, to make a duplicate copy of it. So you can see that you have another copy. So you move this downward like this and change the color. So move this towards the white to create another unique color. Then you can click OK like this. So when you've done that, what you want to do with this is very simple. You want to select the two of them, group them first, Ctrl G to group them, select everything and press Ctrl T and rotate this first and make it bigger like this. And select only this one. You can now scale it out, make it bigger to create this effect. Click enter when you're done, of course. And reduce the opacity and also the fill to give you that nice blurred out effect in the background. Something around here is good, but you can use 20, it's fine, it's good. Convert to smart object like this and go to filter, go to noise, add noise to it, copy my settings for this, click OK. Okay, so we're actually building this up gradually. Select these two and convert to the smart objects. Go back to filter and of course add noise to this. Make sure you're using my settings, please. Click OK. Okay, great. The next thing I want to do is go over to where I have my resource file. Of course, the resource file is in the description of this video, the link to get it. Right? So I'm just going to bring this inside here like this and move this upward like this. Bring him downward like this. And position him here this way. So what you want to do is revert this foreground color and background color. Make sure the background color is now the foreground color. Select your brush and with your flow set to 100, gradually paint in this here. Hold up. Okay, so let me double click on this. I need this darker, so I'm going to move downward a bit and click OK. Okay, so yes, you can see that there's a difference between this color I'm using and the one in the background, right? So you need to actually be intentional with your compositions so that you can get the best out of them. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add some special effects to this Atletico Madrid text. And to do that, I'm going to go over to, I'm going to group this first and name this text. And I'm going to go to my graphic design premium assets. Right, so if you've not gotten your Smart Designer premium assets, it's still very much available, where you have your backgrounds for your posters, your 3D text, your effects, and you can see these are all effects for your posters. And of course, the CORELDRAW Mega Bundle is still available. Now you have your ready-made template for your flyers, for your birthday flyers also, and even also club flyers, and most especially the banners, right? So these are custom-made banners. You just need to drag and drop onto your composition and you get your work done easy and sharp, right? Design smart. If you've not subscribed, now is the best time to subscribe. Right, so I'll get right into it. I'm just going to go over to where I have mine. You can see I have mine here. So double click. This is what you see when you're inside. So I'm just going to go over to premium backgrounds and I'm going to go to orange backgrounds. You can see that they are all sorted out. So you just need to go to the specific place and pick what you want and use them. So I'm just then going to drag and drop here. Make sure it's directly on top of your text, right? So what you're going to do is right click and create clipping mask like this. And I'm going to change the blend mode to what? Pin light. Great. So that you see retains that bit of red in the background. All right. So I have this done. Select the image. Now let's make this image pop. A couple of things we want to do to make the image pop. The first thing we're going to do is go over to the effects and bump up the texture and reduce the highlights, increase the shadows, increase the contrast and clarity also. In case you want to learn how to make your images pop, I have this video just up above that will guide you through the process of making your image pop for your posters and compositions, right? So I have this done. I'm good with this. The next thing I want to do is adjustment layer, color balance, and make sure you are clipping it to the image so it doesn't affect the whole composition, right? So I'm just going to tilt towards the red in midtones. Shadows, I'm going to add blues and also reds. And for the highlights, I'm going to tilt towards the yellow. And yep, this is what I want. You can see that it's now looking more like it's part of the background, right? So now that I've done this, let me move this up. Select the two of them, use your arrow key to move them up like this. I'm going over to my resource file. I'm bringing this inside like this. Now you want to make this smaller like this and position it somewhere here. So a couple of things we want to do to this image to make it blend with what we have. The first thing, mask it out like this, right? Select your brush, B for brush, and clean out these top parts. Basically, I'm removing the sharp edges, right? Remove the sharp edges, and of course you're left with this image. But we cannot leave this image like this because it doesn't blend well, doesn't sit well with this composition. So what do? Go to adjustment layer, click on hue and saturation like this. What you want to do is click on clip it, still clip it, click on colorize, make sure your hue is set to 0 and bump this all up to 55, right? So on this, I'm going to apply some blur to the image. Make sure it's not too much. Somewhere around here is good, and click OK. Select the two of them, group them. Of course, you know what I want to do by now. And reduce your opacity like this so it's not overshadowing the main composition, right? These are some of the basic things you need to know when you're making the compositions. There are some major elements and there are some other elements that you want to just make sure they're not overshadowing the rest. I'll use my brush to clean up the skies. I literally do not have any need for that, right? So on the topmost layer, I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to go over to my resource file, and I'm going to bring in this other image like this. So bring in this image here, make this smaller. That's the first thing you need to do. Make this smaller and position this one here, right? So what you want to do next is I'm just going to leave it like this and click enter. Okay, so let's make this blend into our composition. So go over to camera raw filter, and first and foremost, let's make this pop. And texture first, and reduce the shadow. Oh no, I'm going to be increasing the shadows. Increase the contrast, reduce the highlights, add some blacks to it, and add some clarity to it, and boom, you're done, right? mask it up, and of course I would make my brush smaller by using the bracket key after the P, and I'm going to conceal these areas to make it blend well with the background like this. Okay, so you have your image nicely blended with what you have in the background. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is, let me reduce the opacity of the background. That's the field that I brought in earlier on, right? I'm going to rotate this also and make it slightly bigger like this to create this nice depth that you're seeing here. Okay, all right, so let's move on with my text. I'm just going to come here and type out his name, and so this would be Julian Alvarez. Click on the color, click on the whites, and reduce this to 50. Double click the text, click enter, and I'm just going to write Alvarez. Right, with all of this selected, Ctrl T, move this first here, Ctrl T, and rotate this so that it can actually fit into this composition well, just like the other text that you're seeing. Make it slightly bigger. So I have this here. You can see that in this whole design, I'm not trying to do too much. I'm trying to just do a few things, but of course, just know that in design, less is more. So it's not when you have all the elements inside your design before your design starts making sense, right? In fact, if you still feel the urge to keep adding, you know that you're doing something wrong, definitely. So I'm going to apply some lights on this side and the other side. Change the blend mode to linear dodge add instead. Like this, you can see how the lights actually makes this design actually pop more. So I'm going over to my graphic design bundle, and this time I'm going to go over to where I have these dirt effects. Now this is how you can use these dirt effects. Most persons have actually asked me how to use them. So if you are a sport lover and you've seen some posters online, you see this kind of thing, but you bring it in, change it to screen. Then what you have to do is reduce this like this to give you this nice special effect, right? So it gives you this vintage kind of look, right? So just make sure your opacity has been reduced, and in some cases you might not have to reduce the opacity too much. You might just leave it at 60 or 70, right? So I'm just going to leave mine like this, and to balance this all up, you can see if you Ctrl J this, that's duplicate this is what you have. But that's not the route I'm going, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, okay, so I need to add some extra lights. So reduce the size of my brush and add some light here. No, Ctrl Z, it doesn't fit there. So it's going to stay on top here. Good. So it's just going to be small like this, just going to be on top. Okay, so go to the top layer, click on your adjustments, color balance, and please use my settings. I'm just going to tilt towards the reds, my midtones. And for my shadows, I'm going to tilt towards the blue. Of course, when you're working on shadows, you need to use blue to make it realistic. So on highlight, I'm going to tilt towards yellow and red because those are the two basic colors inside of this design. right? So the next thing you want to do now is, let's see, so go to stay on the topmost layer like this, make a snapshot, Control Alt Shift E to make a snapshot. Make sure you make it a smart object, add noise. Now this is one of the things that you definitely don't want to miss when you are making a poster. So this is what gives it that vintage, this is what crowns that vintage look that you always see on the internet on most posters, right? So if you've been following me in my previous tutorials, you would know that I like adding this effect to my design. So the next thing you want to do is most times you can experiment with this color lookup, right? There's some cool effects that you can get here. For example, I can use the drop blues DL to drop the blues inside, just like the name implies, and I can have this way, or use this, and whichever one you use, you can always control all of this, right? So this is the bleach. You can always come to the opacity and reduce it, and yeah, whichever settings you use, you can always come. If it's too much, you can come to opacity and use it. But for this, I'm not going to use any of that, right? So I'm just going to stick to what I have, and that's how I created this. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you share this video. Make sure above all you're subscribed. I love you guys.